I know nothing about Instagram, but I know I have to show up. I took my first reel, posted it anyway, took a second reel, posted it anyway. Did I like it? No, I hate it. Do I look stupid? Absolutely. Did people like it? No. But that got me with a message. And this lady was like, do you also work with someone like me? And that was my first client.
Before we get to where you are now, I want to know a little bit about what life looked like for you 1 year back.
1 year ago, I was actually part of Paul McKenna's hypnotherapy. And I remember he called and volunteered to come up for the goal setting, which we all have done just now. And I went up, and he asked me to draw my timeline. And I was there, and I was looking at my timeline, and I was not sure what the hell is going to happen, but I'm like, and Paul is like, make it bright, hear it double the times, feel it more. And then I was like, And at the end, I'm like, just seeing my future, and Paul asked me, so how did your future look like? And I said, bright. Right, and I really have a dream that on this timeline, the next 1 year, I'm gonna be free. What does free means? I have no idea. And I'm gonna travel the shit out of the world. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do. All of this stuff. And that is the dream, right? And everyone is telling you, yeah, don't let go. I mean, surrender the how. And I'm like, yes, surrender the how. That's my dream. So I'm coming out of Super Coach and the hypnotherapy sessions and all of that, and I was like, okay, now what? And at that point of time, I had 2 suitcases with my husband. We just let go of our beautiful home in Portugal. We wanted to actually, really, honestly save money. Because I'm not earning anything from my coaching career. I have 0 clients, 0 business. I only had this timeline that Paul managed to draw out of me. So, yeah, what we did was we took the suitcases and I went back to a place where I thought I left it for a long time. I went back home. So, you see, I'm from Singapore. And I grew up, going to the top business school and expected to go to, investment banks. And I said, no, I go to Germany. Because the boys there are better. No. Yeah, so I went to Germany. Anyways, 8 years later, I went back to Singapore. And I stayed at my parents' with my husband, who also quit his job. And so at a family dinner, I remember I was just chilling, eating, hot wings, whatever, with my nieces, my mom, my aunt, my cousin, who's my sis, who's my mother figure. And she looked at me and Christian, my German husband, as you obviously know now. Anyway, she looked at me in my eyes and asked me, so, what's going on right now? And I'm like, wow, I have this plan, I have this, I was doing business area with all my strategies at the beginning, planning my clarity, my confidence. I have all these plans, my planner, right? I'm all of that. And then she's like, yeah, and so are you earning anything? I mean, obviously I'm Asian, right? I hope that's obvious. And as a Chinese Asian person, it's all about money, jobs. Honestly, the culture scape, unfortunately. And I'm like, no, but my future is bright, so it's gonna come. And my cousin looked at me dead in my eyes and said, I don't know how to tell you better than this, but you need to have a stop loss. maybe what you did not know is I actually quit my job 1.5 years ago. And I was behind all kinds of reasons. My dog died, my investment dropped half, my car broke down, my dog died and I'm depressed. I mean, some of you hear my stories and I was crying in the pots. And I go into certification after certification, learning after and learning after, and I'm like, I have this plan. But honestly, I'm not taking action. So I'm sitting there and looking at her, and she's like continuing, like rubbing me deep inside. Like, well, you're in Singapore. Here, you earn much more than you had done in Berlin, right? But since you have not been in the corporate for already 1.5 years, maybe you have to like go lower a little bit and start lower. I was like, what the fuck? And at that time, I'm like, hold on a minute, I have not really taken any action, so is it fair to say I have to stop now? Is it fair to say I have 1.5 years of self-doubts and then 0 actions and I say I stop? And I'm like, no. But I know something is stopping me. And deep in my intuition, I knew that I have to go to Cancun from Singapore. I'm like, God, I took like, I don't know how many hours of flight all the way to Cancun with my German husband. And I remember in the accelerator, one of the ceremonies done by Renata, and she made me close my eyes to see inside. And I just see my garden, right? She asked us to look at our garden, how it looks like. And I just closed my eyes, and I was standing there. My feet was bare, and I was feeling the soil right below me. And I was looking around. It's wide, it's limitless, right? Oh my God. And the soil is fertile and moist. I really do see a lot of my seeds everywhere, ready to pop, but I see no sprouts. No sprouts. And it's limitless, a lot of seeds, fertile, moist. I'm like, husband, go away. What am I gonna do next? And then I looked up and I realized that it's cloudy. And my sun is hidden. So how can anything grow without light? How can anything grow without you showing up and letting your light shine through? And there was, I have to say, like a proper fucking breakthrough there. I went home. I went home really like, what is the thing I have to do? It's all about action. I have to let my light show and shine. Instagram. I have not posted anything ever unless I look freaking fabulous. And it always have to be someone else more fabulous than me, and then I would share it or something. But never, no reels, no post, no nothing. I know nothing about Instagram, but I know I have to show up. I took my first reel, posted it anyway, took a second reel, posted it anyway. Did I like it? No, I hate it. Do I look stupid? Absolutely. Did people like it? No. But that got me with a message, a DM. I'm like, oh, slide into my DM. And this lady was like, do you also work with someone like me? I'm a mother of 2, I'm a CEO of 2 businesses, and my life is a train wreck. And I'm like, oh, tell me more, but like keep the cool, tell me more. And I got into conversation with her, and that was my first client.
from that first client to the latest client you signed, tell us a little bit about how that last conversation where you literally 2 days back, you were like, how much should I charge this latest client, and what's the kind of value that I can deliver, and how do I show up to deliver maximum value? Tell us a little bit about how that last conversation and getting a yes to a 165,000
Euros.
euros client and receiving a yes. In that moment, tell us what went through your head.
It's the same client. So throughout these last 6 months, I showed up and I had a thermostat that says, if this is scary, you have to do it. I raised my hand more often than not. I did more reels than not. I did workshops than not. Whether there's people showing up or not, I don't care. I'm in the adrenaline of showing up, and I did more for my client than she has expected. It's an it's a 6-month contract for an hour of my time each week. I don't do an hour. I do till you feel good at the end. I did hypnotherapy on her, and I'm happy that she accepted. And I try not to let her see she can get another child. But and I just go beyond. And it was supposed to be just life coaching, kind of. She wanted to get out of a train wreck, get out into a more work-life balance, get her health back from her mindset. But towards the last 2 months, because I grew as a person, I grew showing up, I grew in my business, I'm like, and I know business very well because I came from the tech business school. Yeah, anyway. I actually started to slowly indoctrinate my knowledge of business and started business coaching her on top of what I'm doing with her. And I remember it was 3 weeks ago, I'm like shaking and I'm like, this is the time. This is the time I have to, because our contract is ending in 3 weeks, so this is the time. And I'm like, hey, so, it's coming to the end in another 4 sessions, and our contract is ending, but I love working with you. Can you imagine if I've done whatever I'm doing within the last few weeks and we bring it into a longer partnership? How crazy would it be? She was telling me, she said, I had to use ChatGPT to ask how I can ask you back the same question. And that's when I knew she's going to be my client. Okay, next step, now what? Offer. A new offer that is something I'm nothing about. And in my head was a business partnership where I help her and her partner for the organization in terms of building them up in their leadership, as well as employee and all of that, like a proper proposal. Now is the price tag. I'm like, wow, I've been manifesting to do another 35K, so 35K. Actually, it was 25K, but I'm like, that is too small, 35K, go on. So I talk to myself a lot like an idiot. And then I'm like, no, why 35? You know what? Wouldn't it be great if I earned the same amount as what I was earning in corporate, which is 50K, and tell people that I'm doing that with one client? So I put 50K, and I was like, wow, that's a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, that's fine. And then I got on the call with Ajit and the rest, and I'm like, I have to ask. And it was like universe aligned everything. It was right in the moment when Ajit is going through the content of return on investment, and I'm like, Ajit, how do I propose my return on investment? I'm planning 50K. In my head, it's like, wow, what a fabulous number. You went from 6K. It's like, sure. 50K? Why 50K? You're cutting yourself too short. Guys, and in the chat, tell Shui, what do you think this package sounds like? And people were like, 1 million, it should be more. And I'm like, 1 million? Okay, yeah, maybe in like Hong Kong dollars, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, go on. And he's like, but you know what? If 50K makes you comfortable, then do it. Oh. I think what Ajit doesn't know about me is that I have my thermostat. When it's comfortable, I'm not doing it. That's not how my light will shine and how my seats will pop. So I'm like, okay, what is the average that people are writing? What are the numbers? And they were like writing all kinds of 6-figure numbers. Okay, I have to go 6 figures. Oh my God. And and then it became really a numbers game in my head because I'm like, physically, I've never gotten that, so I can't imagine that. But I'm like, okay, it's a numbers game, let me count. I would like to have 5 digits a month. Maybe then it should be 10K for 12 months, then it's 120K. But then I would like to tell my German husband's parents-in-law who did not like that we quit our job that I'm earning 5 digits euros in a month. So 120K euros. I proposed. It was overwhelming for them. They kind of said, no, it's too big. And I shrank back to 50K. You know, I was feeling like I made it. It was a celebration. I even offered 120K, but when they said no, I shrank. I'm like, oh my God, I told everyone I proposed 100, and now I'm going to go back to Accelerator, and everyone knows that, oh, she didn't make it. She only did 50K. And it was the same thing where I felt like, is it a stop loss? Is 50K now my stop loss? So I had a second conversation. And also thanks to Ajit and the rest of my family, they pepped me up the 2 days. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. And Tori asked me this question. So what are you going to think about this 1 hour? I'm like, okay, what kind of value am I going to give to her? And she's like, stop. I was like, what? And she's like, think about how are you going to spend that 120K? I was like, And then I'm like, 120K. She put me back into that it's just a number again. It's not about the value, it's just a number. I went back and I said to them, you know what, let's do it into 2 phases. You're not ready for it, let's do half a year, phase 1, and another year, phase 2. Make the number smaller for you, right? Okay, half a year, 45K, 1 year, 120K. And that's
Can we
how I
give a
got my
huge round of applause to
120K.
Shui for her brutal honesty, her sense of humor, her perseverance, her commitment. But if there's anything I want you to take away from what Shui has just shared here, it's not about the number. Okay, it could, that 165K, 120K, it could be $1 million plus, it doesn't matter, right? That's not the number that I want all of us to take back from here. It's the process that Shui has gone through over the last 1 year to reach a place where it became comfortable for her to speak that number out, for her to expand her abilities, her own confidence, her own clarity about what she's delivering. And the most important thing, if you notice what she said and everything that she said is, I started off with that one client and every single time I over-delivered. I committed to 1 hour, but what I did is every single time, I didn't stop there. I never stopped there. What a blessing it is for your client to have someone like you to work with for the next 1 year. Congratulations once again, Shui.